Hey guys, so today we're making some lasagna with palmini noodles. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get started with the video. And so I made this delicious cheesy lasagna using some palmini noodles. This is perfect for those of you who want something low carb. And so let me show you how I made it. So I'm going to start by sauteing some ground turkey. And so you can use turkey Italian sausage if you want, or any other meat, whether that's beef, pork. And I'm just gonna season this with some all-purpose seasoning, some black pepper, garlic powder. I don't care what seasonings you use. Just make sure your food is not bland, because we don't want no bland food, y'all. And so since this is just regular ground turkey, I really wanted the Italian sausage flavor. So I'm gonna add in some fennel seed, some crushed red pepper, some Italian seasoning just to get that Italian sausage flavor. I'm also going to add in a few splashes of some red wine vinegar, because that's also going to help with some acidity and help to develop that Italian sausage flavor. And so I'm just going to cook my ground turkey until it is brown, and you want to make sure that you season it to your taste. Okay, it's turkey, and we want to make sure that our turkey is very, very flavorful. And so I'm just going to continue to cook this. I do like to cook it until most of that liquid is out of there. Next, I'm going to add in some green bell pepper, as well as some yellow onion, and some fresh garlic if you have it. And I'm just going to stir that until the vegetables are nice and translucent. I am using store-bought pasta sauce for this, but you can make your own if you like. My favorite is Prego. And so I'm just going to mix that in there. And I like to add a little bit of sugar to my pasta sauce, so I'm using some Splenda. And we want to make sure, if you want, you can use regular sugar, but we watching our sugar intake over here, so it's Splenda. And then I'm adding in some fresh basil, and I'm just gonna let my sauce simmer and let those flavors get nice and merry. And so next we're gonna move on to our palmini noodles. No, actually we're gonna move on to our ricotta mixture. So I have some parsley ricotta cheese here, and I'll be sure to list the ingredients and measurements in the description box below. But I'm mixing that with some fresh parsley and some fresh basil. I'm adding in 1 egg, and I'm also gonna season it with some black pepper, some salt, and I am going to add in some grated Parmesan cheese just for some additional flavor. You can add in mozzarella cheese in this step if you'd like, but I'm just going to stick with the Parmesan. And I'm going to mix all of this together until it's nice and creamy like this, and then I'm going to put it to the side. And so I am using palmini noodles for this recipe as a low carb option. And if you're not familiar with this, it's basically hearts of palm, which is a vegetable, and so it can be quite fibrous. So I decided you don't have to wash it. You can just simply rinse it and drain it, and make your lasagna like you want. But I am going to boil it for about 10 minutes just to see if it will help it to get a little more tender. I did make lasagna in like a muffin tin previously, and I felt like that didn't go as well as I had hoped as far as like the structure of it. And so I think I'm gonna make this as like in a lasagna, like a pan, like you would traditional lasagna, but I am gonna boil this to see if that helps with the texture. Um, it was still a little difficult to cut, but it had really good flavor overall. And so I'm going to grease my pan with some nonstick cooking spray, and I'm gonna put a little bit of my sauce at the bottom. And then I am gonna add on some of those palmini noodles, and then I'm gonna put on some ricotta cheese, some mozzarella cheese, and I'm just gonna repeat the layers until it fits in my pan. Obviously this is going to depend on how big your pan is, but this was perfect for me. And so I'm just going to continue to assemble the lasagna. Make sure your oven is preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I ended up cooking this for about 30 minutes or so. You do want to watch it just to make sure. I did put it on like a sheet pan in case it overflowed, but I cooked it for about 30 minutes, or until the top was nice and brown. And it was really good, y'all. I definitely make this again using the Palmini noodles. The only complaint that I had was that it was difficult to cut the slices because the texture of the hearts of palm is a bit fibrous. And so after I did all the layers that I could in my pan, I just topped it with some mozzarella cheese as well as some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. And I'm gonna sprinkle some parsley on top and put it in the oven. And after you cook it, you wanna make sure that you let it sit. I let mine sit for about 15 minutes just so that it can kind of rest and come together so it wasn't, wouldn't run all over my plate. But y'all know lasagna is hard to kind of cut and get a pretty slice when you trying to present it on the dish. But yeah, it was a bit hard to cut through the palmini, but it tasted exactly like lasagna. Like, I didn't even miss the pasta. If you're a texture person, then you might not want to use the palmini, but flavor wise it was absolutely delicious, and I definitely make this again. Look how cheesy this is, y'all. Like, it's not gonna look super pretty on this plate, but it tastes really good. And I think this is perfect for the weather, perfect for a cozy dinner, for a holiday meal. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.